What's good, beautiful people? I'm the Black Thumb, and this is my man,
Ayati.
And welcome to New to the Game podcast, the podcast for the casual NBA fan.
Now, the casual NBA fan is more focused on the intersections of the NBA, the culture, the music, the fashion, the drama.
And speaking of drama, that is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Katt Williams and the Katt Williams interview that was done with Club Shay Shay earlier this year. And in particular, we're going to talk about the Katt Williams and Kevin Hart kind of feud or back and forth that has taken place since then.
Okay.
So for those of you that don't know, we're going to go ahead and show a clip of what Katt Williams said, and then we'll come back, and then we'll show a clip of what Kevin said, and then we'll get into it. Sounds good?
Sounds good to me.
Let's get it. All right, here's what Katt said.
No one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Do you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow. Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not going to have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point.
All right. That was a lot. Katt Williams kind of went in on that.
Yes.
Okay, so here is Kevin Hart's response.
About the New York Knicks. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Katt Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, and it's rumored that he took the Knicks back, returned them with a receipt.
Yeah, you could do that. You didn't know you could do that.
The first person ever did.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave him a 30-day policy.
He bought it for 15 days.
And returned it.
Yeah. That's another fun fact about the New York Knicks.
He made the team.
He played.
He played.
Oh, he played?
He played with the Knicks. He played with them.
Well, you know he's fast. They say he's fast.
Yeah,
He run a
one of the fastest.
3.9.
Oh, yeah.
What you
say?
A sub 3.9.
He figured out how to play basketball from reading all them books.
3,000 of them.
3,000 a year.
A year.
That's 2 a day.
At 6 years old.
That's 2 a day. Who knew he was so voracious?
At the age 7, he got accepted to I think it was Delaware University.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Never made public news.
No. Ever.
The biggest secret in the world.
Hey.
Smartest kid to ever do it. They kept it a secret for 48 years. Yeah. They kept it a secret, and it just dropped on us.
He was hitchhiking on the side of the street at 13, so they couldn't find it.
Speaking of which, Kev, you've had a busy week.
Yeah.
A tough one.
Yeah, real busy week, fellas. A real busy one.
Okay.
Oh.
John Morant coming in
To the Lakers.
Okay. I see you.
Another known fact, Katt dropped him off.
Oh, wow.
Katt
In a
just dropped
spaceship.
John Morant.
He gave him a ride.
In a spaceship.
Okay.
In a spaceship.
Copy that.
Spaceship that he parallel parked.
Known fact, Katt Williams has a NBA basketball court in his living room. He's the first to ever really...
Oh, yeah.
He's the first to embrace a true hardwood floor.
Yeah.
He bought it in his home.
Was he playing against that little boy that put him on the ground?
Another known
By
fact.
the way, he's fighting for the MMA championship, the 17-year-old boy that put him in the rear naked choke.
In a headlock, right?
But it's a known fact that Katt Williams do not breathe oxygen, so it didn't bother him.
Yeah.
Oh, copy that.
You can't choke him out.
Yeah,
That's
you
a known
can't.
fact.
Everybody knows that.
He's 92-6 in one-on-one pickup game.
Okay, so now that we've seen what was said between Katt and Kevin, what are your thoughts on the interview as a whole, and really whatever you feel about what's been said and the back and forth that's taken place?
All right. Well, I think we should just make it clear that the reason why we're talking about this is because Kevin Hart happened to bring this up during an NBA telecast. Let's just make that clear.
Yep.
Like, why not jump on that opportunity to talk about such juicy drama, even though it's not really a NBA topic, but hey, they brought it in, so we're going to bring it in. And I feel we'll start in a reverse order, because of course Katt Williams put the video out first, but we're talking about the NBA video that got put out first. My personal opinion on the Kevin Hart response, I don't think it was as well crafted and planned. I just feel it was kind of impromptu. I feel like the time spent doing watching the NBA game would have been better just to like make jokes or funny quips, because he's a funny guy. Kevin Hart is fucking funny. Be funny in that moment. I just feel he wasn't prepared to take real shots at Katt Williams the way he needed to. Like, it needed a proper response, and sometimes you gotta build your arsenal and get your shit ready if you're gonna come back. Don't just throw some shit out there. And personally, I just didn't think the shit was that funny. Like, even his boys, the jokes were just kind of like, I mean, some people come off the dome and be funny as fuck, but that shit wasn't really funny. So, compared to the Katt Williams, everybody you could think of, I'm like, damn. Like, it's too much to talk about in our... It was a 2-hour video. Katt Williams was talking about everybody. So imagine we can't touch everything, even in our podcast. So we'll try to focus on just the Kevin Hart and Katt Williams back and forth. And personally, if I was a judge on the sideline of the boxing match and you had to like score, you had to give it the score keep, Katt Williams took that shit.
yeah, for sure.
Just, I feel it was they say it's petty. He came off angry, but that's not the way I saw it as a viewer. I still took it as entertainment. And if it was entertainment, Katt Williams put out a better product in that moment. They're both on podcasts or something that's not really their product. It's not their platform, but who utilized it the best in that moment. And I feel Katt Williams killed that shit. For Shannon Sharp benefited from it. Katt Williams benefited from it, and even Kevin Hart benefited from it. Because let's be real, I ended up watching Lyft because of this shit, like on Netflix. So
sucked in.
At the end of the day, everybody won. So why y'all fucking mad? But if you want to say who won, that's who I say won on the back-to-back. How was your feelings on the interaction? I call it an interaction.
The interaction.
The altercation.
The back and forth. This highly contested debate. To me, I go back to, because like I ended up kind of taking a little bit of a like YouTube deep dive on this shit and was watching a bunch of different videos, and I think one of the biggest things that I was able to take away from a lot of these different responses from these different comedians and other people in the industry was that like no one came out and was like, Kevin, I'm sorry, not Kevin. Katt Williams, you're a liar. You're an absolute liar. Like, no one came out and said that. It felt like everyone was just trying to cover their tracks, right? You know what I'm saying? Just out there with brooms, sweeping their tracks.
Trying to duck the shrapnel, like, hey, you didn't hit me.
Like, oh, wouldn't talk about me, was it? And so I think that says a lot about number one, Katt Williams' impact, number one, right? Because I think after this, like, because before me seeing this, I didn't think of Katt Williams as this larger than life figure, even though like one of my favorite movies is Friday After Next, and he is a pivotal character in that movie. If you have not watched Friday After Next, do yourself a favor, especially around the holidays, watch Friday After Next. It's incredible. But for me, like, I didn't think that he had that level of impact, and to see the response, just the fact that it got so much of a response, and not just from people around the world, like the actual people that he was talking about. Because I feel like, if I'm a Steve Harvey type person, like, I done did what I got to do. Like, I done made my money. Like, why am I mad? Like, okay, like I might not even respond.
Yeah.
You know, even if I wanted to, I feel like the move is not to respond. So I think to me, like, what my big takeaway from it was Katt Williams' impact.
Well, let's make another pivot. Let's stay away from the drama for a second.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that people took some nuggets from it. The reason why I say Katt Williams won the exchange is because Katt made it clear that, like, there's statistics involved. He said there are measurables that you can say, hey, this is why I know I'm better than you at this. And for like looking at basketball, there's clear measurables. Like a team wins because they get more points. A player is an MVP because they have this much points, they have this many wins, they have this many assists. They have a presence and they back it up with data. I feel like as a viewer, swim through all the bullshit. That's some shit you can take home with you.
Right.
And I feel like for even us as podcast people, what is our metric? You know, like what could I say? No, I'm better than them motherfuckers in this. Because looking at the interview at that moment, I felt like Shannon Sharp was the one.
Oh yeah, he's the GOAT already.
I was like, he new to this podcast game, and I feel like right now he was like, if we had metrics, he was poised.
Yeah,
he knew how to lead. He knew how to like back up.
Yeah,
he knew how to chime in. He knew how to do the good banter. He didn't make nobody feel down. He can elevate a person. He didn't dog nobody else out at the same time while he got someone on there dogging people out. Yes. And it's like...
And he was able to push back in a way and not even have to like say a bunch, but he would just be like, oh, come on, Katt. Like he would do that and that would be the pushback and that was it. And it was just so well done as a moderator, interviewer, conversationalist, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And if that was the metric, we could say, damn, all right, what kind of response did the other responses get? Like, everyone had a response on a platform to what Katt Williams said. And like you said, no one came out and said, you a liar. Yeah. How many times can we count did someone say, you a liar, you a liar, you a liar? After a while, you could be like, okay, it's just like with any other, if you get accused by a whole bunch of people, eventually you're like, well, we don't know if they're all lying, but everybody keeps saying you doing this. Let's start looking at the metrics and let's start counting the shit. And I'm sitting there like, damn, maybe we need to start looking at, stop listening to what people are saying and see what people are doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, so it kind of made me like, let me watch this whole Katt Williams video. So not did he just like dog everybody in the comedy world and say, you a thief, you a stealer. It made me just think about deeper issues. Because like right now, we're content creating. He was making a very bold claim that he had things that he created stolen. And people were taking credit for it as theirs. Mm-hmm. Imagine how that would feel if that shit happened to us in this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of those things are very real possibilities, right? And I think to a larger point, that's kind of how our world works, right? And I mean,
people stealing shit. Yeah,
right, exactly. And I know
Robin season.
It's always Robin season for some.
I mean, I literally just got my motherfucking tools stolen in this bitch. Let's be real. They stole my shit right here in Long Beach. So it's Robin season. If they'll steal tools, they'll steal your jokes. They'll steal your podcast. They'll steal your look. It's just like reality. And I think that Kevin Hart, I mean, God, see these damn K's.
Fucking K's.
K's. Katt Williams struck a chord and resonated with a lot of people, and I think that's where I think people didn't like it.
Yeah. It tingled their spine in a way they wasn't really trying to be tingled.
And I feel like if you can get past, I guess, like you said, the clickbait, the drama, and all the things that they just make you, they try to make you focus on that, and actually just like kind of listen to some of the shit he was putting out. He was low-key dropping some game for 2024, and I think a lot of us could walk away with that and improve whatever the fuck it is we doing.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like no matter what it is you're doing, if you can just put enough time and energy and know what to measure, you're going to improve. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, the ESPN thing didn't do that for me. I'm not going to lie. The Plastic Cup Boys didn't really give me any nuggets I can walk away with. It didn't even really give me that laugh I needed, too. Because like you said, laughter is an emotional response, and I was like, well, I'm not really. It was kind of uncomfortable when I was watching this shit. Like,
it was
like that's how it felt.
It was a little cringy, right?
It was
a little
like,
cringy.
It
was like,
yeah. And then with Katt Williams shit, I'm laughing, my gut busted laughing. But then if I like think about what I'm laughing about, he was sliding some wisdom in that motherfucker, and I was like, okay, bro, let me listen a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that like to bring this back full circle, if a person got the metrics and got statistics to make a point to you, how come do people push back? Because let's bring it to a basketball standpoint. In my mind, LeBron is the shit. Mm-hmm. And he has metrics to back it in a lot of categories that motherfuckers haven't touched yet. And yet people still want to debate whether he's good or he's not, and he's not a leader and all that shit. It's like, is it just our nature just to ignore facts and just say, fuck it?
I mean, I think some of that is true, right? I mean, we see that a lot in our politics too, right? Like people, we're very much like, you know, kind of herd mentality. Like we only hang around the people that kind of think the same way that we do. Yeah. So then we're like outraged or shocked when we hear a different opinion, and there's like, oh, like other people believe this shit too. Yeah. So I think we see a lot of that in our politics. But yeah, bro. Yeah, I agree. I think it happens.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay. Yeah, there were some accusations made, and there was like a lot of drama hit, but fuck, maybe we need to take a piece of that and translate it to different parts of every sport, every venue, and really start to give this shit like a sober view. And let's like take things in consideration. Like, okay, so a metric that we can use for ourselves is like, what would be the thing that makes our podcast better than other people's podcasts? Is it the comments that we hope you guys are leaving when you watch this video? Like, is it that reaction? Yeah. You know, is it the views we're just getting? Yeah. It's like, fuck, all right. Well, what can I do personally to try to make sure that this shit is enjoyable for anybody that watches it? Is it talking about the different topics? Is it hitting the tangents? I don't know. I feel like he sparked stuff like that with that podcast, and that might just be me going in a different tangent.
But I think you're speaking to something, and I think podcasting, comedy, any form of entertainment is a form of art. And you sent me that video of what's the guy's name?
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin talking about like you should create art for yourself. It's not for anyone else. It's for yourself. And so I think what makes us is us, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think if we all create for like us and kind of what fulfills us and what brings us joy, then I think we emanate that to the world, and that's the sauce.
And I think you're personally just trying to get better at the shit. Yeah, you ain't trying to prove it and make sure people like it, because it starts to make you morph and change. Right. And they like you in this moment, and everything's so damn fickle what they actually like. So they like you now, and they hate you later. And it's like, if you just create something great and make sure you're the best at it, you start to move towards those, like, being as good as Michael at it. Michael Jordan, or Mike Tyson, or Michael Jackson. I just like saying Michael, because, you know.
We got a lot of Michaels.
It's a lot of Michaels that's good at some shit. And it's like, damn, okay. We all probably want to go there, and when someone challenges you, what do you use to solidify your point? And I think that's why so many people have to be fucking quiet when Katt made his fucking declaration. That's what I'm gonna call it. It was a 2-hour declaration.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think low key, I didn't know I was a Katt Williams fan.
I mean, I loved him in Friday After Next, but I'll be honest with you, like the next time that like I was like, oh shoot, there's Katt Williams was when he popped up in season 2 of Atlanta.
Oh, wait.
Like when he popped up in season 2 as an alligator man. Bruh, that another quick tangent.
Yes, have y'all seen? Y'all please go watch
the season. Just go watch Atlanta in general, but in particular, season 1 and season 2 are the two that hit the hardest.
But go see that Alligator Man
scene. But watch that Alligator Man episode. That shit is so good. Oh my god! And Katt is he's the most believable ATL uncle.
He's speaking for a man.
Oh man, yes, he's so believable. It's
like
great,
that would be your typical Atlanta uncle.
Like, or yeah, like that. That's a category. That's one category of it. Yeah, like that. He embodied one category of the ATL uncle.
I just wish we could just break it down. He just like the cigarette smoking.
It was great. Yeah, that was a quick Atlanta tangent, but like I think what this really speaks to, and I think this was another one of my big takeaways just from the interview. Now that we're kind of talking more like some of the deeper things, is just like how much he was willing to do, right? And how much he was willing to try, but also like how much he wanted to learn and recognize at a young age that like, I don't have to learn from my experience. I can learn from others' experience and avoid some of those pitfalls. And I feel like we've talked about this in previous episodes, especially around Ja Morant and some of the things that have happened with him. So how did you feel about those aspects of the episode, and is there anything that you want to highlight that really resonated you in that vein?
I want people to take it from a objective standpoint. Don't get personally involved as far as I'm on this side. Look at it as what can I take from this, and at the end of the day, it's entertainment on a medium. So we're watching two people talking about situations. In my mind, that can be equated to sitting down watching a play or sitting down watching TV. And at one point, entertainment was tools. The entertainment for us way back in the day was our storytellers. They'll sit down and tell us a story with the objective of one, either teaching us some shit, encouraging us about something, or deterring us from something. I'm pretty sure there's other objectives you can slide in there, but generally that's what your story was supposed to do. So let's say Katt Williams completely fabricated that whole fucking shit for 2 hours. At the end of the day, it still followed a hero's journey if you listen to it. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys are out there readers as well, but please pick up a book called A Hero with 1,000 Faces. I got the title wrong. Might be A Hero with 1,000 Names. Just Google some shit like that, and when you see a fucking book come up about a hero with 1,000 something, you're probably on the right track. But the point was just saying that throughout history for thousands of years, there's a certain hero structure. And a hero comes through, like, first, it's like an identity that, oh, there's something I'm supposed to do. And then they journey away from home. They go through some fucking challenge, and they gotta fight a fucking dragon or some shit that represents a dragon, overcome it, and then somehow return home. And it's like this whole hero's journey. It's this arc of it. In that 2-hour story, let's say Katt Williams made up that whole fucking shit. But how much inspiration can that give to a fucking kid that hears that story? Mm-hmm. That, I need to read. I can learn some shit. Or I shouldn't be afraid. Or I should be who I am. I feel like everybody is ignoring the fact that he was pushing a good narrative while calling motherfuckers out and putting their ass, quote unquote, to shame. I'm not gonna be mad if I was the butt end of that. Like, you could still be like, damn, even if you feel some type of way and your ego got kind of bruised, if you look back and say, well, damn, if a little kid look at that shit and start to try to like be inspired to try to be like us, and say, okay, this is what we got to do to be like them, then fuck it. That's the expense you got to pay.
Yeah, that's the price of doing, cost of doing business.
It's the cost of doing business as an entertainer. And I feel at the end of the day, right now, entertainment ain't doing what it's supposed to do. Entertain, to me, was supposed to bring joy. And a lot of times, I don't think that should do that shit no more. It either makes people fucking discouraged, it either makes them fucking insecure, it makes people want to fucking put it down, or they get fucking addicted.
That's fair. Yeah, you're not wrong about any of those things.
And I'm like, well, fuck, what happened to the good parts of the shit? Like, I'm supposed to be out here, when I pop the music in the headphones, I'm supposed to be out here ready to conquer some shit. Like, what happened to that feel good shit? I go out here and fucking, I don't want to put in the music, and then I go like, what the fuck this job? That's how I feel sometimes. Why am I working? This motherfucker out here flexing this shit. What happened to the power of entertainment. Like the good power of it. That motherfucker still got power. It's just being wielded very
differently,
irresponsibly.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I took from it. But maybe I'm just in a different place right now, and maybe I'm supposed to take in the bullshit. It's supposed to be straight drama. It should be but I don't know. I felt something deeper from it a little bit, and maybe I shouldn't have looking too deep into a damn Katt Williams interview.
No, I mean, I think I felt very similarly. Like I felt like just as I was watching and just like hearing him kind of start to go through his story after he just like left the earth scorched, and then it was like, all right, so let's talk about your childhood. I was like, damn, that's a transition. And
Shannon Sharp was the best, baby.
I was like, wow, okay, because he was like, I don't even know where to go from here. Shannon was like, oh, come on, Katt. That shit was so funny. Oh man, I love Shannon Sharp.
Man, Shannon Sharp is the one.
But
he is the
one. They, like their combo was great. Anyway, but yeah, man, it was just like seeing everything that he had to overcome, and just the potentially sticky and tricky situations that he found himself in. But also just like how to your point, like it's a metric. Like, and I think so. There's another book out there. It's called Think and Grow Rich, by Napoleon Hill. And the premise of the book is like, you know, you basically have to have a burning desire, right? Like you have to find a burning desire. And he did something very similar to what Katt Williams did, but this guy did it much earlier, like in the early 1900s. So he was like interviewing people like Henry Ford and the Commodores and the Roosevelts and all of those folks. And he was trying to figure out what makes them successful, right? And what he came down to is that you have to have a burning desire for whatever it is that you want.
Okay.
And I think that's what Katt Williams figured out, because he was reading all nonfiction. So he was reading biographies and autobiographies. And so he was basically reading a bunch of people's diaries.
I like that.
And they were telling him, this is what I did to get to where I was. And I think because he was so intuitive and because he was so advanced and could understand and retain, he probably figured out like, oh, this is the common theme with all of these people. And if I just know what I want and I focus on it and I do what I think what I think it takes to do it, I'm gonna be just fine. And I think that's what he's done. And he won that conversation. I mean, you know, I'm a Kevin Hart fan myself, but I had it fell flat for me. The ESPN situation fell flat for me, like big time. And the other part was like, I think this was kind of to add insult to injury, like his homies was hitting harder than he was, and I was just like, oh, that's not a good look.
They wasn't the ones attacked.
Yeah, like that's not a good look either. Like your boys is going in harder than you are, and they're adjacent. You feel me? Like they weren't specifically directly named. So yeah, it kind of fell flat for me, and I agree. Like I think he's, you know, like he got to do what he got to do to get his money, and I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody has their line. I'm not here to be, you know, the moral gatekeeper here. Like I have zero interest in that job. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got to do what they got to do to get it how they live. As long as you ain't breaking no laws, you ain't here doing no shady shit.
Yeah.
Get it how you live, bro. If you got to get an address and, you know, and that's what it takes for you to get to where you at.
Yeah.
And you comfortable with that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. Like, I'm not here to make.
Yeah. And I just think it was a different, like he mentioned about the different time era. Because I'm not going to lie, y'all. White Chicks was funny as hell. Like, let's be real.
It was funny.
That shit was funny.
It was funny.
It was two dudes in a dress. So, but personally, I don't think they would have made that movie today.
No.
And that's where I think Katt Williams made a very specific point. He said, it's the timing. If you're good, you're going to do what's funny at the time. Mm-hmm. And like he said, for him, I guess it was just a personal decision from a long time ago. I'm not going to do this shit. But I think that at certain times you could do it and get away with it. Now, I feel like you got to be more genuine and authentic. And like you say, you can really offend some people doing some tacky shit. So if you're gonna do some shit, is this part of your lifestyle already? I get if this is your lifestyle and you can make it funny. Not Katt Williams said, I don't want to make jokes at the expense of other people's feelings. I'm gonna make my shit specific. And he said, I'm gonna make a joke that I'm not gonna offend this group of people trying to get at you.
Right.
And I was like, it makes a lot of sense now why a lot of certain shit ain't coming out. Maybe these motherfuckers ain't that clever. Because a lot of the movies that we saw, them Big Mama houses and all that shit, starting to kind of die down because maybe that shit just ain't funny now.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. It's a crazy world we live in right now. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
It's hard to find funny and find joy.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard to just, like, put shit out your brain to talk about some other random ass shit. So that's why I was like, damn, it kind of makes you think about some shit in the moment. Because even when we talking about the NBA, at the end of the day, the NBA don't give a fuck. Like, it's not really that important.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the joy I get about talking about this. It's like, it feels good sometimes to just talk about something that personally I have no skin in the game which way it goes.
Right.
If my team lose, that shit does not affect if I'm going to work or not, or if I'm not going to eat. If they win, it ain't going to change my whole situation one way or another.
Yeah.
And that's I guess depending on how you look at it, it's a good thing or a bad thing. Because it's like, there's other aspects of our life that, shit, depending on how that shit goes, will really affect your ass.
The stakes are high.
The stakes are high in politics. The stakes are high when you go out to drive. There's a lot of shit that you got to always be worried about. And it's like sometimes fun talking about some shit that really don't matter. But this is going to be another random ass tangent. But this is what me and my doctor was talking about. I went to go see my doctor last week. And we be just talking about life and shit, just random shit. We got that kind of relationship. And he was like, I told him we were doing a podcast. And I told him it was about sports. And he was like, man, that's kind of cool. But I told him it's about, he's not a sport guy. But I told him about the other stuff he talked about. Oh, that's cool. That's what made him more interested. Mm-hmm. But he said, yeah, I have a hard time watching sports because he's a doctor. Don't forget, he's a fucking doctor. He said, when I sit there, I can't help but think that these people are doing something that's not that important and they're getting paid a lot of money to do that shit. And I started fucking dying. I was like, yeah, at the end of the day, you are a doctor. I can see how that shit. You like, I am saving fucking lives every fucking day. I am making nowhere near what these guys are making to run back and forth up the ground with a court with a ball. He said, I just can't sit there. I don't see how people do it. And I said, we have the same problem. But I said, I get it. And I understand when you're like, damn, how the fuck am I watching this shit? It's like, these motherfuckers are making
hundreds
of millions of dollars, and no one dies if this hoop goes in or not.
Right.
But if I miss this stitch,
or
I really miswire this motherfucking shit, this whole place might burn down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. And I get my hourly rate for that shit.
Right.
And I will get fired if that shit is wrong. Like, and I'm like, you know what? There's joy in this, being able to, like, talk shit about some shit.
Yeah, and it's very low stakes.
And it's so low stakes.
And that's the beauty of being a casual fan is because you can dip in and dip out when you want. Number one, right? We have a very strong in and out policy. Okay, like you can come in and come out as much as you want. Once you have a ticket, you always have a ticket in the casual fan club. And I mean, I think that is the beautiful thing about it. But like the other cool thing about it too is like, you know, like you come back, and I feel like for me, like there have been stretches where like I was really, really into it tough, and then I would kind of back off a little bit, got busy with other things, or there were other sports that I might want to, you know, invest more time in. Yeah. But whenever I come back, like I always feel refreshed, I feel rejuvenated, and I feel like my fandom grows a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that's the beautiful thing. So there was another point in the Katt Williams interview where he talked about playing a lot of pickup basketball. And so I thought it would be kind of funny, and maybe it'll be funny, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be sad and embarrassing.
Okay.
If we can go through the last time we played pickup basketball, if you remember. And what do you remember from that?
The last time I picked up a ball. That's what I'm going to say. Pick up. That's the pick up for me, is pick up a basketball. I had some Vans on at a park. I was like, damn, I used to be able to jump. I tried to jump up there, and like every bone in my body was like Transformers, like, and I was like, God damn, put that ball down so quick. I was like, man, I can get on a skateboard at any point. I can get on roller skates at any point. But I was like, the basketball? Man, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I tried to play a full pickup game. It's probably been over a decade. And that's why I see why people want to just sit in the seats. Like, I couldn't imagine LeBron at 39 running up and down that court. Like, them knees, brother, gotta be just
Too many games.
Not
enough knees.
So that's my last experience. I swear I couldn't even tell you the last time that I actually tried to like really do other than just dribble and do some more crossover shit, not fully extend the body and run back and forth with the court. And I roller skate every week. Like, shit ain't shit. But apparently them muscles to make that movement with that ball, that's a whole different story, brother. So, yeah. It'd probably be a tragedy. We might have just set that up and see if we can see what we can do. See what we can do.
We should do a photo shoot with Oz, where so we can do some album cover type shots for social media or whatever, and just go to a gym and just get some shots up and just see where we at. We could also do this shit in my backyard. I got a hoop in my backyard. Hey, bro. We can do this shit in my backyard.
Let's see if I can still get that rim. I'm going with proper shoes, not no damn Vans or some shit, man. With some hiking boots or some shit. Something with some air cushion or something. But boy, man, I don't know. What about you? When was the last time you...
Let's see. The last time I remember playing So the last time my dad came out to visit, we went out in the backyard and we were just like getting shots up. We didn't play like 1-on-1 or anything like that. But the last time like I played was in grad school. There was we did intramurals and I was terrible. I was terrible. Like deer caught in the headlights.
It's like
I was an okay shooter if there was no pressure.
Was it your hand-eye coordination?
No,
is it the rhythm of the dribble?
I got no left, bro. I got no left.
Left was useless. Like, he going right. He going right. He going right.
I got no left, bro. And I got no size. You feel me? So yeah, but our intramural team was good. Like I think they won the league. Like we were league champs or whatever, or maybe they were. I don't remember if I was on the winning team or not. But because we had some folks that like actually balled in college, like for real. And yeah, they ended up winning that shit. But yeah, I was a bench warmer, bro. Like I was on the bench like, hey, after the three, with my little dances and stuff, out here kicking and screaming.
So on a 1-on-1. We ain't got no facts or anything to back this. Who you think will win in a 1-on-1 basketball game between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart?
Ooh, because I know Kevin like ball. He plays a fair amount. Like that's a passion for him.
They should ball.
They should do a 1-on-1 for like charity. They should do a comedy battle. Like they should. Yes.
Because Katt made it clear he ain't battling nobody who ain't bringing the same people to the audience.
Yeah.
That's where, because I guess he had another interview where he was like, why you ain't going against this comedian? He said, he ain't want to bring 300 people to that shit. I started crying. So, in my mind, like, it's also a numbers game for him, too. He ain't about to battle nobody in shit if you ain't going to have an audience on that motherfucker.
That's fair.
He probably will do a 1-on-1 pickup game against Kevin Hart because they are both gonna bring a particular amount of people to watch whatever the fuck this is.
100%.
And I feel like at any rate, yeah, somebody's ego gonna get bruised, but it's gonna be entertaining if a fucking podcast got like 75 million views after it. Like to me, it means eyes are gonna be on it no matter what it is. So I think the potential's there. It's just, I guess from the outside looking in, we'd already made the analogy that like, to us as casual fans, this shit just don't fucking matter. There's nothing. There's no stakes for us.
There are no stakes for us.
And we trying to translate that mentality to these people who actually do have stakes and shit on the line and shit get lost. Because in my mind, like if you lose against Kevin, like if Kevin Hart and Katt Williams go to a 1-on-1 basketball game, and let's say Kevin Hart loses, at the end of the day, we both looking like, man, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I'm not an NBA player. I'm a comedian.
Well, maybe like they really believe something is gonna be. Like, there is a real tragic loss to it. Like, what? Maybe I'm not in that mind frame yet. What the fuck you got to lose?
What do you have to lose?
Besides your ego.
So this is
cred. What the fuck?
This is where if I'm the NBA, I'm trying to facilitate this. I'm trying to do this at All-Star Weekend. I'm trying to have like like have it as like a part of like, because you know they do the celebrity basketball game every year, and I know Kevin Hart has played a couple times. I'm not sure if Katt Williams has played, but I would not be surprised if he has in the past. This would be the perfect fucking time to have like Kevin and Katt be the captains. They get to kind of pick their squad, whatever.
Or even a skills challenge.
Or a skills challenge, like a 3-point
or
shootout. Or they squat, or they square up.
Squares 1-on-1.
1-on-1.
So you can distinctly say there's a winner and there's nobody other factors. If they got a team, you could say, well, my team was trash kind of shit. Like, nah, go ahead to hell. Anything. People go watch it and it's content.
Or we could bring in Bruce Buffer. And we can rock with your idea.
Let them fight.
Put them gloves and that headgear on. 15 seconds, center of the court. Cut them lights off. Put them spotlights at the center court. And have Kev and Katt duke it out.
Hey, I'm all for a good fight. The reason I'm just saying there's nothing to be lost. Like, Jesus, there shouldn't be no casualties. There's no collateral damage.
Like, everyone's winning from this. Katt Williams is winning. Club Shay Shay is winning. Kevin Hart is winning. I mean, a lot of no one's gonna stop watching Family Feud that was watching Family Feud before this because of what was said on that podcast. Like, if anything, they're gonna they like Steve Harvey, which is why they watch it. So they're gonna dig in deeper and say, "Nah, that's my dude."
And if you lose, you can come back the next season of your life. Like,
it's fine.
If Jordan quit every time he didn't win the championships, we wouldn't have those 6 championships he won. Because he lost a lot more than he fucking won. Let's be real, he played for a while.
That's fair, and a lot of people don't like to acknowledge that,
he lost a fucking lot.
He lost a lot, especially early in his career.
So I'm like, fuck, you might lose this fight. Or this comedy battle.
But lick
or
your
this
wounds.
1-on-1, but lick your shit and get what?
Lick your wounds and be cool,
Get
and get your weight up. You know what I'm saying? You can come back stronger and ready to get back at it. So I see it as like these were all learning experiences, right? Like, they're not failures or learning experiences. It took me a long motherfucking time. I'm still working on that.
Bro, I ain't learned that shit yet.
That's what I'm saying. But it took me a long time to even just acknowledge the fact that, like, failure is expected. Failure is a part of what it takes.
A lesson.
Yeah, it is a lesson. It is you have to do it.
It's literally information. It's literally telling you what did not work. And I still, maybe because I never became a computer programmer, or I wasn't just I guess you would call them a research, like experimental researcher, because you can do it in a whole bunch of different fields. But when you literally have to trial with errors until you get the right shit, every failure was information. And unfortunately, we're in a society that only celebrates the victories and the wins. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, how do my everyday, when I don't quite get my expectation, when my results don't meet my expectations, how do I take out the information from that missed expectation?
Yeah.
I don't do that on a daily. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of that shit just harbor on me. Like, fuck, I fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
Just down for
for sure. Yeah.
I ain't gonna try that shit again. I'm not gonna try that shit again. It's like, fuck, okay. Get the fuck up and try it again. But I think it's because I'm not vested in a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be like I told you, I'm casual. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm like, fuck it. All right, this shit didn't work. Like, at work, I used to beat myself up as a motherfucking apprentice, electrician apprentice. You be thinking you gotta do everything right. Now I be like, nah, this shit gonna get right. You know there's a solution to every fuck up. Like, literally. Like, I don't beat myself up. Yeah, motherfuckers probably lose time. They could have made more money. Fuck all that shit. We can fix this shit. And I realize that now I'm a problem solver more than just an electrician.
Right.
What the fuck do I gotta do?
Yeah.
What am I coming here to fix today? All right, we'll figure this shit out. Well, that didn't work. All right, well, we're going to try this new solution. But, everyday personal life, I don't know if I'll be hitting it like that.
Yeah. I can relate for sure that, like, I mean, it took me a long time to even recognize or acknowledge that was an actual thing, and that most successful people just essentially failed their way to success. So I totally relate to that.
And I mean, fuck up a lot.
Yeah, and
it's a lot of fuck up.
And you have to, otherwise it doesn't work because you don't get enough time and enough. You have to have a certain number of fuck ups to before you can really achieve at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? And And I think that's one of the things. I think that's why our education system. We are all over the place in this episode at this point. But I think that's one of the reasons why our education system is like I get why there are lots of people that are like, this shit doesn't really work, because it's not really teaching us to be problem solvers
or to be human.
Or that too. It's teaching us to regurgitate. This is what we're telling you is important, and you got to be able to tell us back that this is what is important.
Okay.
And it's a different level of programming in that regard.
And that's what we're doing, I guess, with this episode. It's definitely it's a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're a casual NBA podcast that's talking about the Katt Williams video. Like, that shit to me is like, what the fuck? But
I mean,
hey,
Kevin Hart made it NBA adjacent when he went on live television and responded.
You right.
On a basketball telecast.
He did that. He made us talk about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So with that in mind, any last words as we finish up?
No, not really. Just like and subscribe and comment, because I want to come for somebody in the comments. Either say hi or what you talking about. That's my final words.
Awesome. And with that, that's our episode for today, folks. So like Ayati said, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, engage with us. We want to engage back with you and be a part of this incredible community that we're building. So with that being said,
stay casual.